Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As- I'm checking my mic. Um, okay, everything seems good. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today, inshallah, we are starting our Ramadan series in which we will be learning as many surahs as we can, inshallah, with proper tajweed. So, today, inshallah, we will be starting from Surah Al-Fatihah and we will move to Surah Baqarah. We will try to cover 10 to 15 ayahs of Surah Al-Baqarah, inshallah. If you want to know how to recite this surah perfectly, Surah Al-Fatihah and then Surah Baqarah, and if you want to know the tajweed rules, stay tuned. Inshallah, by the end of this session, you will be able to recite these surahs, inshallah. And if there is any confusion, you can comment me, and then inshallah, I will get back to you. I'm starting in a while. I'm just checking a few of my settings. If you have seen my previous sessions, our strategy will be the same, inshallah, in which we will be following 4-step methods. So, in step number 1, we will be reading the surah. We will do recitation. In step 2, we will do the tajweed breakdown, inshallah. Step 3 will be the spellings, ayah by ayah. And step 4, inshallah, will be the final recitation with important rules. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين Ameen. Let's read one more time. This time I will be reading it inshallah slowly, word by word. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdu lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. So let's inshallah see the tajweed rules. So first here I would like to tell you about the word Allah. As I have mentioned in my previous sessions, and here I would like to mention again that in the word Allah before this lam, if you see there is a kasra, you will make lam light always. But if there is a fatha or dhamma, we will make this lam in the word Allah heavy. So this rule is specifically for word Allah. Okay, anywhere else you see lam, lam is always light. But in the word Allah, we read lam heavy sometimes, and sometimes we make it light. And this all depends on the previous letter, what it's carrying. So if it's kasra, we will make it light. If there is a fatha or dhamma, we will make it heavy. So here we have kasra before the letter lam in the word Allah. So we will say Bismillah. Millah. Never make this lam heavy. Bismillah. Okay. Then this ha is connected with this ra, and ra is having fatha. So same rule we will apply to ra, that there are so many conditions under which ra is light. Okay. And there are conditions under which ra is heavy. This is called tafkhim and tarqiq, making the letters heavy or light. So in this case, if ra is having fatha or dhamma, we will make ra heavy. If it's having kasra, we will drop the sound, we will make it light. I hope this is clear. Walaikum assalam. Somebody have commented, so I'm replying. So next letter is ha. Ha is the halkia letter, throat letter, and it's from the middle of the throat. In order to pronounce the ha correctly, you need to open the mouth wide, and you have to exhale the air out. Ha, ha. Never read it like the other simple ha, otherwise it can change the meaning. Then you have meme, and on the top of meme you see small alif. Okay, these are your vertical harkat. So we have simple harkat, fatha kasra dhamma, and we have vertical form of these. So when fatha kasra dhamma are simple, we don't stretch them. These are your vowels a, e, I, o, u, because fatha sounds like a, kasra sound like e or I sound, and dhamma is like o and u. So these are fatha kasra dhamma. And the vertical harakat are your long vowels, where you read them by stretching, like a, e, I, o, and u. So you add one extra vowel. So simple rule is, wherever you see these vertical harakat, you read them by stretching up to one alif. It means that time you take to say alif one time. So it will be rahma, rahma. Some people are making mistake. They're saying rahman and then they say nirrahim. So they make the noon twice. Noon is just once here. So we will say Rahma Nirrahim. Rahma Nirrahim without stopping or breaking them, because they're connected with each other. Next rule is of the Shadda. Whenever you see this W-shaped sign on top of any letter, you have to read that letter twice. Okay? And in order to read such letters, you have to emphasize. You have to read by emphasizing on that. Nirra. If you say nira, so it will be once. In order to pronounce it twice, you have to emphasize. Rahma nirrah. Rahim. So why I'm stretching that much here? Let me explain. So are you familiar? Anybody familiar with madda letters? Anybody know what are the madda letters? So they are same like your long vowels. They are same like vertical harkat in reading. And what it is, so we have alif, waw sakin, ya sakin, madda, and under specific conditions. So when it comes to ya, madda, ya is madda when it's having this small dal shaped sign on top of it, which is called sukun. Okay, so ya is sakina here, ya is silent here. Unlike the English silent, where you exclude the letter, in Arabic, silent letters are the one that are dependent on the previous letters. So their sound is paused. We don't exclude them. We read them with the previous letter, and the previous letter will always have some fatha kasra dhamma. Okay. So if you see ya having this sign, and before ya, if you see kasra, okay, or zair in other language. So kasra or zair is the same thing. In Urdu we say zabar zair pesh, we say fatha kasra dama. Okay, same thing, different names. So before ya sakina, if there is kasra, this makes this ya madda. Okay, we read them by stretching. We never say rahim, we say rahim. Okay, so this is madda letter and this is second last. That's why instead of stretching up to one alif, we will stretch up to three alif, because here we have madde arid. Madde arid is such a stretch where after, if you have to make the letter silent, okay, so before the silent letter, if you have madda letter, you will stretch up to three alif, rahim, and we make the meme silent as well. We give it sukoon, we remove the kasra, because there is a circle which is telling you that this is a full stop. Same like in English, any sentence when we are writing, when one sentence is completed, we are putting a dot which is full stop. Okay, so these waqf, the sign of pauses, are your full stop. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we have to be careful for ha especially, and we have to make the light letters light and heavy letters heavy as well. Now, next ayah is Alhamdu Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay, so this is the first ayah of Surah Fatiha. And if you read it with the Bismillah, so this will be the second ayah. So here you have Hamza. Okay, Alif is called Hamza when it's having any Fatah Kasra on top of that. Then it's connected with the Lam. Al-Ham. Ha is from the middle of the throat. Do. Then before the letter Lam in the word Allah, you have Kasra. So here we will make this Lam light. Lillah, Lillahi, Lillahi. Softly, gently making it light. Then you have Ra with a Fatha. So what we have studied, if Ra is having Fatha, it will be heavy. So here Ra. So here we have Ra with the Ra, Ra heavy. Ba is twice this Ra and one with the Islam. Rabbil. Ain is again from the middle throat and it's a bit squeezed. So we will say R and having vertical for the sound. R, Lameen, Meen. Again, you can see the Ya is madda here. Okay, so me, instead of saying mean, we will say mean. And more on the top, we will stretch it up to three alifs, because Rabbil Alameen. Because after this, we are making noon silent. So our second last letter is madda letter. So here will be the rule of madde arid lis sukun. Okay, in this case, we stretch up to three alif. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Now, next, this alif here, when the ayah is starting with that, is called Hamzatul Wusl, because we have to join this with the Ra now. Inshallah, later I will explain the rules of this also. Hamza with the Ra, we will read Ar-Rahma, Ar-Rahma. So if our second letter is Lam, we will give Fatha to this alif and we will make it Hamza. So our second letter is Lam. By putting Fatha on it, we will say Ar-Rahma, Ar-Rahma. And Noon again with the Ra, Nir-Rahim. Same in the Bismillah I've explained, Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Here Rahmanir-Rahim was there. So here with the Hamza, Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. We will stretch up to three alif here. Okay, because there is a second last letter, madda letter. So it will be madde arid lit sukun. Then we have meme with the vertical fatha. So by stretching, we will say Maliki, 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 يوم الدين يوم الدين. So here this waw is soft and gentle. We call such letters lean. So waw and ya, if they're having sukoon on it and there is a fatha before it. Okay, so yo mid yo mid deen. Again madde arid lissukoon. Maliki yawmid deen. We are reading by stretching up to 3 alif here because all endings are almost same. Meen, deen, nasta'een. Okay, waladdallin. So inshallah we will come to this point also. Now here mostly people are making mistake. This is iaka. Iaka. The word is iyaka. Iyaka. You have to pronounce ya here, not alif sound. Okay, so Hamza ya kasra is E, ya alif fatha is ya, iya, kaf is light, iyaka, iyaka. And this alif here with the ya is madda because before this alif you have fatha. So you can't say iyaka, you have to say iya, yeah, little bit like up to one alif you have to stretch. Iyaka, na'budu, na'budu, na'budu. Ain is from the middle of the throat. Na'budu. So when ain is silent and we are trying to pronounce it from the middle of the throat, sometimes we give it a sudden pause. Avoid that because it will be a mistake. So never say na'a. No. Na'budu, na'budu. I'm reading ain from the middle of the throat because ain is from the halkiya letters, throat letters. In Arabic, the other languages, not all letters are pronounced from the mouth. Some are from the throat, some from the tongue, some from the lips, some from the empty space of your mouth, and for nasalization, we use our nose. So always keep this difference that every language have its own accent. Similarly, Arabic is having its own accent where all letters are not pronounced from your mouth. So Ain is from the throat, purely from the throat, and it's from the middle part of the throat. Na'budu, na'budu. Then we have wa, iyaka, iyaka. Again, same like the first one. Nasta'een, nasta'een. Ain again from the middle of the throat. And ya, instead of stretching up to 1, we are stretching 3 because again we are applying the same rule of madde arid lis sukun. If you want to know more about what are the maddat, different types of maddat, and what is madde arid, so this is temporary mad, temporary stretch, and this we are mostly doing it when the last letter is sakin and the second last letter is your madda letter. So instead of stretching up to 1, we are stretching up to 3. Nasta'een, nasta'een. Then you have ihdi, ihdi. Okay, so this ha is from the bottom of the throat and it's simple. That's why there is a difference between this ha in alhamdu and this ha which is ihdi. This ha is simple and from the bottom of the throat. This ha is from the middle of the throat. So if you say alhamdu, you will end up replacing this ha with this and it will be a major mistake and clear mistake which is lahne jali, which can change the meaning of Quranic words. So it's ihdi, ihdinas. I also listen so many recitation of my students. They say ihdi. So try reading it like a English ihdi. Okay. Never say because there is no ya here. So it's ihdinas sira. Now, this swad is heavy because this is from the Musta'aliya letters. So among 29 Arabic alphabets, we have 7 letters which are heavy at any cost. No matter it's having kasra, fatha, whatever sign it's having, we make them heavy, full mouth. Like as if our mouth is full and we're trying to speak. Okay, so we make them quite heavy. Ra is not from Musta'aliya letters because Ra is under certain circumstances we read it heavy, sometimes we read it light. Musta'aliya letters are the letters which are continuously heavy. We can't apply any condition on it. So remember the difference between these. Swad is heavy. Ra is heavy because of the fatha. Plus, we are stretching it because of this alif. Siro, siro, tal. Ta is also heavy. Okay. So if we say tal, we will end up saying this with the two dotted ta. So this is ta, ta, full mouth. Okay. Tip of your tongue is touching the top teeth. So it's siratal mustaqim. Qeem, qeem. It's not mustaqim, mustaqim. Try touching the back or the root of your tongue with the soft palate, with the soft mouth on your upper mouth in order to say qeem. Mustaqim. Stretch up to 3. Okay. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Again, same word. صراط الذين. Swad heavy, ra heavy, ta heavy. Okay, swad and ta from the musta'aliya letters. Ra is heavy because it's having fatha on it. And little bit stretching is there because of this alif. Sira, siratal. Talladhina. Never say zina. This buzzing sound you have to stop somehow. Not don't let the air flow out. So this is dhal, dhal. So you have to touch the tip of your tongue, very little part, tip of your tongue with the inner edges of your top two front teeth. I'm repeating, this dhal is from the tip of your tongue when it touches the inner edges of your top two front teeth. Okay, so it's not z. You have to control the tongue. The little bit tongue will be out and it will be touching the top two front teeth. So it's sirat al-ladhina, dhina. If you say sirat al-lazina, it will be a mistake. Then this dhal will be replaced with za sound. Okay, and we will end up changing the meaning of Quranic words. Sirat al-ladhina an'amta, an'amta, Ain is from the middle of the throat. And this is ta, very light, an'amta. So this ta and this ta and this ta, they belong from the same family. Okay. And their pronunciation place is also the same. But the difference is this is heavy, this is light. Okay. Alayhim, alayhim, lam ya fatah lay. Ya is lean here. Lean letters are such letters which we read gentle, without emphasizing on them and without stretching them. Alayhim, alayhim. Ghayril. Ghain is again from the musta'aliya heavy letters, so we will read it quite heavy, as well as ghain is from the upper throat. Okay, so it's halkiya also. So you will say ghayril maghdubi. Ghain again, and there is dod. Dod is again from the musta'aliya letters. So sod, dod, ta, qaf, and ghain. So not all 7 are mentioned here, but you can see few of the musta'aliya letters here. غير المغضوب عليهم walad, walad. So this dod is twice. And here, this dod is so unique in pronunciation that you will not find any pronunciation for dod in any other language. That's why it's called Lughatul Arabiya sometimes, that the Arabic lughat is based on this, or this is a special letter in Arabic. Okay, so in order to say dod, you have to touch your sides of the tongue, okay, with the top back teeth, or you can slide with the just right or left, choose one side, and it will little bit slide when it's coming to completion. So you will say dod, dod. Your sides of the tongue should be touching the top back teeth, upper ones, and top back molar teeth. So you will say walad dol. Now, why we have stretched here? Duad, alif, and lam together, and then lam, ya, noon. So here we have um, here we have again mud. This mud sign, you can see so many different types of mud are there. So one of them is, here was madde arid. Okay, this is madde lazim, compulsory mud. So before uh, before tashdid, if you see any madda letter, okay, now the stretching will be madde lazim. Lazim mean compulsory, so you can't ignore it. You have to say walad, walad dol. Doad, alif and lam you will read together, and this alif, you will stretch up to three alif. Doad, alif and lam you will read together, dol. And while reading dol, this alif you will stretch up to three, three count. So like you can close your fingers like this, and by the time you take to open it, dol, by the time you take to open three fingers, you stretch that much here. Okay, walad dol lean. This is also three. So only madde muttasil and munfasil are 2.5 alif. All other madde lazim, madde leen lazim, madde arid, okay, madde leen arid, all these are 3. So minimum is 2.5 to 3. All these mad we can cover by this. And if you can't make it that much long, and if by mistake you shorten it, it will not change the meaning of Quranic words, but it will destroy the beauty of recitation, because then the mistake will fall under lahne khafi, the hidden mistakes. Okay, I'm trying to zoom in. Sorry about that. Can you see it better now? Can you see now? Is it enough zooming in, or shall I zoom it more? Please comment so I can see, because I can't see how it look like on your end. So if there is any problem reading, let me know. You need to, okay. Just give me a second. Sorry about this noise. Is it any better now? Is it good? I think it went on an angle a bit. I'm so sorry for interrupting the class, but I'm just checking. Everybody can see better. So this is the maximum I can zoom in. Aldin, if you can see it. Okay, so let's go over it again. And if you have any question regarding, no problem, you're welcome. So I'm starting again the full recitation of this surah with all tajweed rules. And if you have any problem understanding any rule, and if you want me to go over any rule again, please comment below and I will do that. So let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sorry. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين Ameen. So this was the end of Surah Al-Fatihah. Now we are starting Surah Baqarah. And before I move to Surah Al-Baqarah, if you have any questions regarding this, please let me know. And so many rules will be repeating again. So I will be explaining again, inshallah, also. So let's start. Please let me know if any problem and if you can see it properly. I'm just trying to position it. Sorry about that. So inshallah we are starting now from Surah Al-Baqarah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. Inshallah I will come to the rules of this inshallah. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Okay, so just a second. I will try to switch off the light. Because these pages are having lamination, so that's why the reflection is there. Just give me a second. I'm trying to cover that reflection. I hope everything is okay now. Inspire, uplift. If there is any other issue, you can tell me. I hope everybody can see it better. And this reflection, when I reach here, I will try to cover it with my hand because this is the maximum I can do. Okay, I will try just 1 second here. With my hand, I'm covering it. So let's start again. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. I will explain these signs also. So these are giving you option. You can pause either here or here. So if you pause between la rayba fi, you have to pause after that. If you pause after that, then you have to read in continuation here. Okay, so you can stop at one place, either here or here. Okay, not at the both of them at the same time. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Don't forget to read this ha. هدى للمتقين. هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك, or you can also say من قبلك So this jim is giving you choice. You can pause and you can continue reading. It will not affect your recitation. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Let me read one more time, word by word. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ ويقيمون الصلاة ويقيمون الصلاة ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. So let's break down the rules now of Tajweed. So first of all, we have Alif, Lam, Mim. So same, I've explained earlier that there is Madde Lazim. So what is Madde Lazim? If you see after the Madda letters, okay, if you see that there is tashdid, okay, so you stretch. So here is Alif, Lam is stretch. If you open the spelling of it, you will understand it better. So in the next session, I will explain visually this rule to you. But right now, remember, this lam, you have to stretch 3 and mim is having nasalization. So by closing the mouth, you will try to take the sound of this mim into the nose. Okay, so this is ghunna. Ghunna is when your tongue is tightly pressed to your upper palate and you're trying to take the sound into the nose. Alif, lam, mim. So when you say the alif, lam, you will hear a buzzing sound while your mouth is closed. And when you try to say mim, you will observe that there is some sound in the nose. Okay, alif, lam, mim. Now the word is starting with zal. So zal is a dental letter. You can't say zalikal. This sound you have to avoid. And in order to avoid this, you have to touch your tip of the tongue with the inner edges of your top 2 front teeth. Okay, I will repeat again. What is the makhraj or exit point for the dal? It's the tip of the tongue when you touch it with the inner edges of your top 2 front teeth. So you don't say za. Never lose your tongue. Never leave it loose, sorry. Say dhalikal. Okay, the. I have suppressed the z buzzing sound in dhal. Otherwise, I will end up saying za, not dhal. So in order to recite dhal, try touching the tip of your tongue with the inner edges of your top 2 front teeth. Dhalikal. Kaf is light. Okay. Kitabu. Ta is having vertical fatha, or you can say the small alif. So you will stretch here up to 1 alif. Kitabu. Dhalikal kitabu. This kaf is connected with this lam. Dhalikal kitabu. La. This alif is madda here. Okay, madda letters are, I've told you, the such letters where we read them like these vertical harkat by stretching them. So you will say la, La roib. Ra is heavy because of having fatha on top of it. So if it's having kasra, it will be light. If it's having dama, it will be heavy. In other terms, if ra is having zabar or pesh, you will make it heavy. If it's having zair, you will make it light. Okay. Roib, roib. Ya is sakin, and here ya is lean, because before ya sakin you see the zabar. This makes the ya lean. Lean are the letters ya and waw. In some cases, you will see ya lean or waw lean. You make them gentle. You read them gentle. Sorry. La roib. Fi. Because here we have to pause. So this ha we will make silent. We will drop whatever the harka it's having. So it will be fi. Ha sound will be there, but there will be not fi he or fi ha or fi hu. Just fi. Make ya and ha silent at the same time. Fi. Then you have hudal. Hudal. This dal with the two fatha is having ya next to it. So ignore it, because sometimes with the tanween of fatha, you will see alif or ya additional written here. So these are extra. These are like now English silent letters where you exclude them in reading. Okay. So these silent letters are unlike the English silent letters where you exclude the letter. Their just sound is paused. Okay. But this silent is like English silent where you just exclude the letter. You don't say it in reading. So it's hudal. Dal with the two fatha is connected with this lam here. Okay. And lam is twice because it's having this W sign on top of it. So in order to understand it, I will give you an example from English. In English, if you have to write the letter twice, you write it twice. For example, what are the spellings of apple? A-double-P-L-E, apple. In Arabic, we write A-P-L-E, and on the P, you will see this sign. It means that the P is double. Okay. So just to make understand this concept I'm explaining, so it will be lil muttaqeen. Mutta. Ta is again twice, one with the meme, one with itself. Muttaqeen. Muttaqeen. And this qaf is heavy. This ya is madda. So you have to stretch up to muttaqeen, one alif, but we are making noon silent also. So here we will apply the rule of madde arid lis sukun. So you will end up stretching it to 3 alifs instead of 1. So you have to read it lil muttaqeen. Okay. Then next word is alladhina. Now the question arises, here alif is having nothing on the top. Okay, so how we can give a harka to it? And if we are giving harka, which harka we will give? So this alif is called hamzatul wusl, from which the word is starting or the ayah is starting with. So we will see the second letter. If our second letter is lam, we will give it fatha. Okay, if the second letter is not lam, we will see the third letter. So for now, just remember our second letter is lam, we will give it fatha. So we will say alladhina, dhina, dhal again from the tip of the tongue when it touches the inner edges of your top two front teeth. Okay, never say allazina. So it's alladhina, dhina. Okay. And dhal ya kasra, instead of saying the, you will say the with a double e. Alladhina. Okay. Then you have yu'minuna. So here is one more new rule for you. Whenever you see the sukoon sign on top of hamza, okay, it can be this original hamza or it can be alif acting as a hamza. So whenever you see the sukoon sign on top of hamza, you give it a sudden pause. You don't say you, minuna, minuna. Okay, give it a sudden pause. Read it. Minuna, minuna. And noon, waw, dama, nu. Again, waw is madda. So as I have explained in my previous sessions, that madda letters are frequently occurring ones in the Quran. So never ignore them. Just make them stretch up to one alif. Yu'minuna, yu'minuna bil ghaybi, ghaybi. Ghain is from the musta'aliya letters, heavy letters. Try making it as heavy as you can. Okay, try to read it full mouth. as your mouth is full and you're trying to speak. Okay, ghaibi, ghaibi, and it's also from the upper throat. So while saying this, you can feel a certain irritation on the upper part of your throat. So ghaibi. Okay, ya is lean, so we say ghai. So lean are the one which we read gentle. We can't read it with the strictness. We can't say ghaibi. You have to say ghaibi. When you are making one letter heavy, try not to make the next to it letter or the next occurring letter heavy. So it's bil ghaibi wa yuqimu wa yuqimu. So this qaf is again heavy. So let me explain from where qaf is pronounced. So you know the point from where your tongue is attached in your mouth is called of the tongue or back of the tongue, or you can say root of the tongue. So when that root of the tongue is touching the soft part of your upper palate, from where when you're having sore throat, you feel certain irritation. So when it's touching the soft palate, qaf is pronounced and its sound is falling more in the throat. Okay. And when the same root of the tongue touches the hard part, which is more towards the teeth of your upper palate, kaf is pronounced. And that kaf, this one, is light. Okay, so one is qaf and one is kaf. Qaf, kaf. One is with the Q like in English, and other is with the K. So it's yuqimu, yuqimu, nas-salata, nas-salata. So here swad is heavy as well as swad is twice. So we will read such letter which are twice, one time with the previous letter and one time with themselves. So basically, if you run this, there are two swad. One is having sukoon sign and one is having the sign whatever is here on top of it. So one swad we are reading with the noon, nas, then other with itself. Nassa, nassa, saw, nassa. So swad is heavy. Lam is stretched. Nassalata, nassalata. This ta, the round one having two dots on the top, this is called ta marbuta. Okay, but its pronunciation is same like the other dotted ta. Basically, it's a combination of the ta and ha, and it's more prominent. It having its tajweed rules. When you will see that word is ending on it and you have to pause, then you drop the dots as well as the haraka. Okay, so for example, if there is a pause, I will say salah. I will not say salah. So it's salata. So this is ta marbuta, but its pronunciation is same like the other ta. Nas salata wa mimma wa mimma. So whenever you see the shadda sign on top of meme, it means that there is one meme which is sakin and another meme after that. In this case, we do nasalization in meme sound. Okay, we try to take the sound into the nose by elongating it or stretching it on alif. Wa mimma, wa mimma, wa mimma. And after this meme, this alif is madda, so we can't ignore it. Wa mimma razaqnahum, razaqnahum, razaqnahum. Ra is having, and za is now za. Okay, so look, when I'm saying razaqna, you can observe it's razaq, sound is there. But when I ladhi, there is no buzzing sound. Razaqnahum, razaqnahum, yunfiqun. What is the rule here? Why I have said yunfiqun? Why I haven't read this noon clear? Why not yun? Why yun? So here is the rule which is called ikhfa. Ikhfa means hiding. Okay. So what happens when after noon sakin? Okay, such silent noon is there if there is, and if there is tanween after noon sakin or tanween, if you see ikhfa letters, okay, there are 15 letters. If you see any of these, I will explain which are these. You hide such noon or tanween sound. You never make it clear. But also remember, some people trying to do ikhfa, they ended up doing gunna. So gunna is different thing, ikhfa is different thing. When you do the gunna, your tongue is tightly pressed with your upper palate. Okay, for example, When you say in, try saying in. Your tongue will be pressed tightly with the upper palate. Okay, there is no space for the air to pass. But when you say yunfiqun, yunfiqun, never try to complete this noon. When you say yunfiqun, your tongue will be suspended. It's hanging between your upper and lower palate, or it's hanging between the mouth. It's not touching anywhere. Okay, so when you do ghunna, tongue will be touching the upper palate, but when you do ikhfa, the hiding, okay, so your tongue will be in the air somewhere in the mouth. It's not touching anywhere. The moment you touch your tongue with the upper palate, you will end up doing ghunna. So here we need ikhfa, hiding, not ghunna, nasalization. So you have to say yunfiqun. And what is the amount of stretching here? It's equal to one alif. Okay, the time you take to say alif one time, this much. Okay, yunfiqun. Qaf is heavy, waw is madda, noon is sakin. So here, instead of stretching the madda letter up to 1, we stretch up to 3. ينفقون الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Now next letter is waw, and it's connected with the lam, so it's والذين. Okay, والذين. Dhal again is the dental letter. It's from the tip of your tongue when it touches the inner edges of your top two front teeth. Walladhina. Never read it. Wallazina. Walladhina. Yu'minuna. Again, you have Hamza, and on top of Hamza you have Sukoon, so you will give it a sudden pause. Here, Waw is having no function. Waw is just carrying the Hamza. Okay, because Hamza is always carried by some letter. You can't write it as it is here, so it's something to do with the style of writing. So it's yu'minuna, yu'minuna. Waw is madda because before waw sakin you have dama. Yu'minuna bima unzila. Now, can anyone tell why I'm stretching here this alif and why there is a mad? So can anybody tell which rule we will apply here while saying bima zila? So why we will be stretching this alif here? Okay, let me explain. So when you see madda letters, okay, for example, bima, alif is madda, and after that you see hamza. It can be original hamza or it can be alif acting as a hamza, because we say alif is hamza when it's containing any fatha kasra dhamma or sukun sign top of it. So here this alif we will say this is hamza dhamma. So when you see after madda letters hamza in the next word, okay, this situation, then one word is ending with madda letter, here alif is madda, and soon after that you see hamza in the next word. So it will be madde munfasil, the detached mad. And amount of this stretching here, it will be 2.5 alif. Okay, or equal to 5 harkat, you can say. But if you are using this alif as a measure of stretching, then don't use the harkat. If you're using harkat, then don't use alif. So one alif is equal to 2 harkat. So here the stretching will be equal to 2.5 alif. So it will be bima unzila. Again, the rule of ikhfa we will apply here, where we have to hide this noon sound. Remember, while hiding, never press your tongue with the upper palate, because you will end up doing ghunna. We don't need ghunna, we need ikhfa. We need to hide this noon. Okay, we have to say unzila, unzila ilayka wama unzila. Again, after noon sakin, you have za. Za is from the ikhfa letters. So you will hide the noon sound. Unz min qablik. So again, after noon sakin, you have qaf. Qaf is again from the ikhfa letters. So these all situation here. Fa, you see za, you see qaf after noon sakin. All these places we have to hide this noon. We can't read the noon prominent. Okay. Min qablik. Qaf heavy, this kaf light. So what I have told you, the difference between this qaf and this kaf, this one is from the root of the tongue when it touches the soft palate. Okay, and this one is from the root of the tongue when it touches the hard palate. This, the sound of qaf is heavy and the sound of kaf is light. Okay, qarblik or qarblika, qarblika. Wabil akhirati, wabil akhirati. Here kha is heavy because this is from the musta'aliya letters. 7 letters among all 29 Arabic alphabets are the letters which we read heavy at any cost. Kha, Swad, Dad, Ta, Dha, Ghain and Qaf are the musta'aliya letters. Ra is heavy because there is a fatha on it. Ra is not musta'aliya letters from the musta'aliya letters, but we will make it heavy under certain conditions. So here such condition is fatha on it. So we will apply this rule of tafkhim and tarqiq. So in tafkhim, we make it heavy. In tarqiq, we make it light. So here ra is having fatha, we will make it heavy. Bil akhirati. Hum yuqinun. Waw is madda. Stretch the word you. Instead of saying you. Okay, slight stretching. Qaf heavy. Noon waw dama. Nu. Waw again is madda. Again we will stretch. But here we are pausing at noon. Noon is sakin. And before sakin a letter, if you see the second last letter is your madda letter, instead of 1, you will stretch up to 3 alif. Okay, so you will apply the rule of madde arid lis sukun. Hum yuqinun. Hum yuqinun. I hope all tajweed rules are clear so far. If not, you can ask me and I will go over it again. So I will recite again. Alif, Lam, Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. So here I will tell you again the highlighted areas only. So mim is shadda, there will be nasalization. Okay. Then you see the green color here is telling you musta'aliya letter. So muttaqeen, qaf is heavy. Ghaib, ghain is heavy. Yuqi, qaf is heavy. Nassalata, swad is heavy. Wa mimma, mim is having nasalization. Wa mimma, ra is heavy. Ra. Razaqnahum, razaqnahum. Noon is stretched. Yunfiqun. Here is ikhfa and here is qaf is heavy. So musta'aliya letter. Yunfiqun. Then you have bima, stretch up to 2.5. Bima unzila. Bima unzila. Wama unzila. Wama unzila. Min qablik. Min qablik. Ba is qalqalah letters, the echo one. But here qalqalah is very weak because the ba is occurring in between somewhere. If our word is ending with the uh, qalqalah letters, then we will make the qalqalah very strong. And if the word is ending with the qalqalah letters and having shadda, then qalqalah will be the strongest. So there are three levels of qalqalah, the echo. One is weak, strong, and strongest. So here we have weak qalqalah because ba is between somewhere in the word. And qalqalah will be the strong if the qalqalah letters are silent and they are on the last. We are pausing at it. And if we are pausing on qalqalah letters and they are having shadda, then qalqalah will be strongest. Okay. قبلك قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. Now I'm moving to the next ayah. Today my target is inshallah to complete the first 10 ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. And every night I will be conducting these sessions 10 p.m. UK time. Now let's move to the next page. Okay, I hope that it's visible, all ayahs. Please comment below and tell me if you can see it clearly. If not, then I will change the location of this Quran again. Okay. Okay. So let's start from this ayah. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. Okay, if you want me to read more, kindly let me know, but my target is to complete just 10 ayahs today, so it's not overburdening for you people also. Now let's see word by word what are the rules of tajweed in this part. Okay, so first is ulaika. Okay, ulaika. Never stretch the word ula because this waw is not functional here. We are not reading it. So it's ulaika. Ulaika. Now, I have told you that if there are madda letters or the vertical harkat, we do the same stretching, we apply the same rule. Okay, so here we have vertical harkat, and after that you have hamza in the same word, so it will be madde muttasil. The stretch will be because of madde muttasil, and the amount of it is 2.5 alif. Okay, the time you take to say alif, alif, and alif, like quickly, half of it. So it's ulaika. Kaf is light. Ala, ain from the middle of the throat. Lam is your vertical, having vertical harka, so we will stretch it up to one alif. Ulaika. Okay, ulaika. Arla, arla, ain from the middle of the throat with a bit squeezing sound. Ain is from the halkia letters. Then we have hudam. This ya is again extra. So I have told you before that with the tanween of fatha, you will see the ya or alif extra written. So never read them while doing spelling. So just ignore it. Hudam, hudam, dal, two fatha with the meme, and meme again which is connected with the ra. So here we have hudam, hudam. So after two fatha, two kasra, two dama, okay, or noon sakin, if you see yarmaloon letters, the word yarmaloon itself is abbreviation. If you open it, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and noon. So if you see any of these, you will do idgham. Okay, what is idgham? Idgham is merging, and there are two types of merging: idgham with gunna or without gunna. So here we will do the merging as well as we will do the nasalization, as well as we'll take such sound into the nose. We say hudam, hudam. Okay, but here is again after noon sakin, you see this ra. So ra is again from the Yarmaloon letters. Here will be idgham but without gunna. So when you see after noon sakin and tanween, ra and lam, you will merge but you will not do nasalization. And if you see the other remaining like ya, mim, noon, and waw, you will merge as well as you will do the nasalization. Okay, same we have done in this part. Hudam, hudam, we have merged as well as we have done nasalization. But when we say mir rabbihim, we are not stretching, we are not doing any nasalization, we are just merging. Okay, so this is idgham with gunna, this is idgham without gunna. Hudam mir rabbihim. Then you have again the same word wa ulaika. So here madde muttasil, attached mad, because after this you see hamza in the same word. So it's wa ulaika humul muflihun. Ha is from the middle of the throat. Okay, and this is from the halkia letters, so we read it from the middle of the throat. We can't say muflihun, we have to say muflihun. Waw is madda and we are pausing after this. So in this waw, instead of stretching up to one, you have to stretch up to three alif, because you will apply the rule of madde arid lisukun. Humul muflihun. Okay, next ayah is innalladhina. So in this situation you have one noon sakin and after that you have another noon. Okay, again the rule of idgham we will apply here, but remember how to recognize it with the noon. Just remember, whenever noon is having shadda or meme having shadda, you will do nasalization. And if you want to open this noon, you will have two noon, one with the sukoon, one with the fatha. So after noon sakin, you have another noon. If this condition is there, so this is idgham ma'al gunna, with a gunna. So you will say innal ladina. Hold this sound and try to take it into the nose. By now, when you're saying innal ladina, observe your tongue is tightly pressing with the upper palate. Okay, this is telling you that this is gunna. But in ikhfa, what I said, the tongue will be suspended in the mouth. It will not be touching anything. Just a second, sorry. So it's innalladhina. Innalladhina. Okay. Next is kafaru. Kafaru. Ra is heavy, because we said if ra is having fatha or dama, we will make it heavy. If it's having kasra, we will make it light. So here is kafaru. kafaru, sawa'un. Here again, after the madda letter, you see hamza in the same word because the word sawa is the one word. So in the same word, if you see after madda letter hamza, so you will stretch up to 2.5. This is again madde muttasil, same like this mad. So you will say sawa'un alayhim alayhim. Ain is from the middle of the throat. Lam ya fatha is lay. Ya is lean here, gentle one. So you will say alayhim. Now here we have two hamzas next to each other. Okay, one is original hamza and one alif acting as a hamza because it's having fatha on top of it. So we say that whenever alif is having fatha, kasra, dama or any sign, we call it hamza. Okay, by looks it's alif, but by rules it's hamza. So here what we will do, when we are reading them, we have to make the second alif also very soft. Never try to make it hard. Never try saying zartahum. Softly, gently we have to read them. Zartahum. Zartahum. Noon is having ikhfa because after noon sakin you have the letter dal. Dal is from the ikhfa letters. If this situation occurs, you have to hide the noon sound. Remember, you have to hide. You don't have to do nasalization. So in order to hide it, try not to touch your tongue anywhere in your mouth. أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ. Dal, in this dal, you have to control the tongue. Okay. Instead of saying an zr, zr, you have to say zartahum, zartahum by touching the tip of your tongue with the top two front teeth. And here raw is also heavy. Okay, so one more rule of the raw we are learning. Till now we said when the raw is fatha or dama, raw is heavy. Here we are saying when raw is having sukoon and before it you have fatha, then raw is also heavy. أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ. After noon sakin you have letter zal. Zal is again from the ikhfa letters, so hide this noon. تُنذِرْهُمْ La yu'minun. La. Lam alif fatha la. Alif is madda. So we can't ignore this. We can't say la. Most of the students, when they don't see any sign on top of this alif, especially when madda, they ignore it. But if there is no sign on alif, you have to see what's before it. If before it is fatha, then you will read it because this is madda then. La yu'minun. Now, Hamza is having sukoon. Here, ya is having no, waw is having no function. Just it's carrying the Hamza. So it's a chair on which Hamza is sitting, you can say. So waw itself, we are not reading it, but we are reading Hamza having sukoon. So we will give it a sudden pause. La yu'minun. Yu'minun. Noon, waw, dama, nu. So waw is madda. And because we're pausing at noon, so here we will apply on this waw madde arid lis sukoon. Okay, 1 second. Thanks for letting me know because I have no idea how it is on your end. So if there is any issue, you have to comment and I will do that. So here is La yu'minun. Then next word is starting with the kha. Kha is having fatha and kha is heavy as well. So we will say khatamallahu. Mim is having fatha. Because of that fatha, we will make this lam or in the word Allah heavy. Khatamallahu. 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 Ala. Ala. Ain from the middle of the throat. And lam is stretched. Ala. Qulubihim. Qulubihim. Qaf heavy. Lam waw dama. Lu. Qulu. Bihim. Wa'ala, ain from the middle of the throat, lam stretched. Sorry, if I said lam heavy here, I was wrong. Lam is having fatha, so lam is stretched, I mean. Ala qulubihim wa'ala sam'ihim, sam'ihim. Ain is having kasra, and ain is from the middle of the throat. Sam'ihim wa'ala وعلى أبصارهم. So basically, if we write this lam and we write alif with it, in that case alif will be madda. So vertical harkat also works or also act like a madda letter by we read them by stretching. So after this is the hamza in the next word. So here will be madde munfasil and we will to 2.5. So you see madde muttasil or munfasil. In both cases the amount of stretching is 2.5 and all other four mad will be 3. Okay, so here is وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Sod is heavy. Saw. Alif is madda. Absaw. Ba is qalqalah, but ba is weak qalqalah here. Having a weak qalqalah because it's occurring in middle of somewhere. So if we are pausing at it, if for example ba is here as the last letter, then qalqalah will be strong and you can feel it. So here you will not feel qalqalah or echo. You will say absarihim. أبصارهم غشاوة غشاوة. You see this za sign on top of it. So this is telling you that you have to continue reading and you can't pause between these two. Okay. So the word is غشاوة غشاوة. Ghain is from the top of your throat. It's from the halki letters. Okay. And ta to the ma with the waw. Here after just one second. Here, after two dama, which is tanween, you have waw. Waw is from the Yarmalun letters. That's why we will read them by merging. Idgham. Idgham means merging. Waw is from the Yarmalun letter after tanween. If it's after nun sakin, same rule. So you will do merging as well as nasalization. So you will say ghisha wa tu walahum عذاب عظيم. So this is very important rule again here. عذاب. Zal is from the tip of your tongue when it touches the inner edges of your top to front teeth. So it's a dental letter. Never read it as it's adha. Tongue should be controlled. And upper teeth will be touching the tongue and it will be slight little bit out. Azim. This word azim, even in the namaz when we say Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, scholars are very strict on this subject. They said if you can't say azim, say kareem, but don't read it wrong. Because the moment you say azim, you will replace this the with z. Okay? And the moment you do so, you will fall into lahne jali, the clear mistakes which can change the meaning of Quranic word. Okay, these are so sensitive matters, and in order to understand how we can avoid these mistakes, we need to learn the Quran with tajweed. So here is Azim. Dha is again same like Dal. They are from the same family. These are the Lithavia letters. So in order to read the same like Dal, you have to touch your tip of your tongue with the inner edges of your top two front teeth. But here the difference is this Dal is light, Dha is heavy. Okay, so you have to say Azim. You have to make it full mouth, and you have to avoid the buzzing z sound. So you have to suppress the sound of z and you have to say Azim, Azim, Adabun, Azim. Stretch up to 3 because here is madde arid lissukun. Next is Waminan Nasi. Waminan Nasi. Mostly people are reading it Nasi because they again can't see alif having any sign on top of it, so they ignore it. So basically you have to do nasalization, and here nasalization is like as if you're holding something and then you're dropping it. So you have to say waminan nasi, nasi. You have to feel that gunna or nasalization sound in your nose. Tongue will be touching the upper palate. Okay. Waminan, waminan nasi, waminan nasi. Man yakulu. And if you want to know the rule here, so it's idgham with gunna. Man yakulu. After noon sakin, ya is there. Ya is from the Yarmalun letters. So it will be idgham with gunna. Man yakulu. Man yaqulu. Qaf is heavy. Man yaqulu. Amanna. Amanna. Again, nasalization in the noon, which is gunna. Okay. Alif is stretched. Manna. This alif is also madda, so we will stretch. And this noon is having nasalization. So you have to say, Man yaqulu amanna billahi. Lam is light because before lam you have kasra. Billahi wa bil yawmil akhiri. Yaw, in the word yaw, wow is lean, soft. Akhiri, kha is heavy from the musta'aliya letters. Wama hum. Okay, so here I will tell you that there is nasalization of the meme. Same we have the rules idgham, ikhfa, iklab and izhar for noon sakin or tanween. So we have some rules for meme sakin. Okay, so if after meme sakin you see the letter ba or another meme, so you do the gunna in the meme sound. Okay, so you have to say wama hum bimu'minin. After meme sakin, you have next word starting with the letter ba. So what you will do? You will do gunna in the meme sound. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. The makharaj, the exit point of gunna is al-khayshum, your nasal cavity or the nose. So if you try to closing it with your fingers and try pressing it and try saying meme and noon, you won't be able to say it. So this is from the nose. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Mu. Again, Hamza is having sukoon, so we will give it a sudden pause. بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Next word is يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ. So kha is heavy. It's a full mouth letter. Ain is from the middle of your throat. Okay, try saying ain, because if you say ain, you will end up saying the sound of hamza, or it will not be ain, and it will change the meaning. So you have to say yuhadi'un Allah, Allah. Make this lam in the word Allah heavy because there is a fatha before it. So not all the lams are heavy. Just we have to see the lam in the word Isme Jalalat, the name of Allah. So if there is the lam and if before it you have fatha or dama, you will make it heavy. If you have kasra, you will make it light. So you have to say يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ نَاللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Now in the word again, وَالَّذِينَ. These dental letters, these Lithavia letters are repeating every now and then. So you have to be extra careful because the moment you say allazi wallazina, so this z, this buzzing sound will make you say za instead of dal, and you will end up changing the meaning of Quranic words. So this is walladhina, walladhina amanu, amanu. So this alif is extra at the end of this word amanu. So here our recitation will end on wow. Amanu. We can't say amanu a. So it's just amanu wama yakhda'una. Yakh kha is again with a certain irritation from the top of your throat as well as it's from the heavy letters. So make it heavy. Yakhda'una. Una. Una. Illa. Here, after this alif, which is occurring as a madda letter, you have hamza. Okay, not original hamza, but alif acting as a hamza. So because it's in the next word, because illa and anfusahum, these are two different words. So if this case occurred that one word is ending with a madda letter, and after that second word is starting with the hamza, and this is then madde munfasil, where you will stretch up to 2.5 alif. Illa anfusahum, anfusahum. Noon is having ikhfa. Remember, I said ikhfa, not gunna. So when you do gunna, your tongue will be touching the upper palate. When you do ikhfa, your tongue is not touching anywhere in the mouth. You just hide this. أنفسهم أنفسهم وما يشعرون. Ain from the middle of the throat, raw, heavy, because After ra, you have a waw sakin. So it's a madda. Waw madda is also, and ra is heavy because of the dhamma on top of it. So you will say wama yash'urun. Fi, ya is madda. So instead of saying fi, you will say fi. You double the vowels. قلوبهم قلوبهم. Qaf is heavy. Lam, wow, the malu. Instead of lu, you will say lu with the double O. Bihim, bihim. After meme sakin, another meme is there. If you open this meme, okay, so we are looking at this. So here will be nasalization for meme. Fi kulubihim maradun. Now instead of saying maradun, you will say maradun, because after tanween you have letter fa, and fa is from the ikhfa letters, so you will read by hiding. So you will not say maradun, you will say maradun. No need to complete nun. Maradun. Fazadahumullahu. Faza, za. Here you don't need to avoid buzzing sound because this is za. If it zal, then we will suppress it. If it za, we will say it clearly. Fazada humullahu. So before the letter lam in the word Allah, you have dhamma. What we will do here? Are we making this lam of the word Allah heavy or light? Anyone? Anyone have idea here what we will be doing? Okay, let me tell you. So we make the lam heavy. We say fazadahumullahu. Mullahu. Marada. So when we are pausing, what we will do, instead of reading two fathas, we will convert it to one. Right now, in this case, when dad is having two fatha, this alif is non-functional. Okay, because with the tanween of fatha, what I said, you will see alif or ya extra. But the moment we will pause here, we will reduce these two fathas into one. This alif will become madda. So you will say mara do. This rule is specifically for the two fathas that in case of pausing, you convert it into one. Okay, two fathas will drop to one, decrease to one. So you will say mara do. Do is from the musta'aliya, heavy letters, so make it heavy. Mara da. Walahum adabun. The. It's not azza. It's adabun. Then you have the word alimum bima. This is iklab. Iklab means to change or to replace. So after tanween, like two fatha, two kasra, two dhamma, which you also call two zabar, two zayd, two pesh. After that, or after noon sakin, if you see letter ba, like the next word is starting with the letter ba. So what you do, you replace the sound of such tanween or noon sakin with meme. So instead of saying alimun, I will say alimum bima. Alimum bima. Okay, by doing nasalization as well. Alimum bima. Kanu. Kanu. Alif madda, waw madda. Kanu. Yakdhibun. 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 So here again, madde arid lissukun, because second last letter is your madda letter, and last letter we are making it silent by ourselves, so it will be madde arid, the temporary stretch madde arid with lissukun in case of sakun. So we have completed our target of the 10 ayahs. Let's go over it one more time. Ulaika على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. Okay, let's read it again from the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Stretch up to 3 alif because all ayahs are ending with the second last letter having as a madda letter. So madde arid lissukun will be there. So stretch up to 3 alif on all these endings because if you see these are rhyming. Muttaqeen, okay, yuqinun and yunfikun. So الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. أولئك على هدى من أولئك إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. ومن الناس من يقول hold it and then drop it. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا, hold the sound of noon in the nose by doing nasalization. آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين هم nasalization for the meme. وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. صدق الله العظيم. So this was our target, the Surah Fatihah and 10 surahs of Surah Al-Baqarah. 10 ayahs of Surah Al-Baqarah. And 10 o'clock inshallah UK time again tomorrow I will be live and I will be conducting these sessions throughout Ramadan because this is the Ramadan series. Inshallah, try joining me and learn the rules of Tajweed inshallah, and you will gain so much knowledge by the end of these sessions. I will try to make them interactive. I will try to make them simple as well so you can understand all the Tajweed rules inshallah with ease. So again, I'm announcing 10 o'clock inshallah UK time. Again, I will be here tomorrow and I will be conducting these sessions throughout Ramadan nights. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions, you are most welcome. And if you want to learn particular surah, which I will be doing every other day, I'm doing the sessions on the short surahs. And today the session was on Surah Nasr. Next session will be again in 2 days, and it will be in on sorry Surah Kafirun. So through every other day, I will be conducting sessions and I will be covering the short surahs. And every night, 10 p.m. UK time, I will be doing the live sessions of Surah Al-Baqarah, and then we will slowly move to the other surahs also. So that's it for today. I hope that you have learned the rules of Tajweed. And if you have any questions, you can comment me. If you want to see more videos on Tajweed or the short surahs, you can check on my channel under the live session series, or you can check the regular videos also. So I have made some Tajweed videos there as well. And inshallah, if you have any question, you can ask me. I will answer. And I will see you again tomorrow, 10 p.m. UK time, inshallah. Take care of yourself. Have a good Ramadan. And remember me in the duas, inshallah. See you tomorrow, 10 p.m. inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.